Hello everyone, it's Joseph and Ray back again for another great episode of Ask EVGA. This should be number 16.
16, this one. Even I wasn't
16.
sure.
Yes. What is that, quinceañera?
I thought that was 15.
Oh,
Quince.
okay. What's the Sweet 16?
I think it's an MTV thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is beyond our quinceañera episode. So much better than that. So episode 16, we're excited to bring this section to you every week, or at least mostly every week. It's been a little busy because of the holidays.
Yeah.
So sorry for missing one. And some of you might notice also, I'm wearing a very awesome t-shirt.
I noticed it immediately upon walking in today.
Limited
that
edition.
is not a shirt that we have.
Yes. It's an extremely limited edition, one-off gold foil shirt that I made myself. So.
Yeah. It's pretty good. You did a good job.
Yes, thank you.
Maybe you'll see something like that in a future design of an EVGA shirt. I think it's pretty cool. And certainly I like the gold because that's kind of like Kingpin.
Yeah, I was slightly inspired by, the Kingpin box because of the gold lettering, and then the foil shirts from Gamers Nexus. I really like those.
The Mighty Jesus.
Yes, take
All right.
Jesus. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the questions.
All right.
This one is from Dan Ontiveros. This is... for the next Ask EVGA episode, is there a plan to increase maximum power target setting for RTX cards beyond 130%?
Okay. Thank you for asking that question because it actually brings up an important thing that most people don't realize about how we did the power target for these RTX cards. They're all, instead of being relative to the NVIDIA reference, they're actually relative to where the card basically is at its own 100%. So as an example, I believe on the FTW3, the highest you can set that card is 124%. So you may think that actually it has a lower power target than some of the other models, but that's not correct. It's actually the highest of any model. The reason why is because 100% on an FTW3 is actually basically 120 at least percent on a reference card. I believe it's somewhere around there. I do know that the 124% setting is 373 watts. Maximum power draw, which is 50% higher TDP than what the reference card is, which is 250. So if you figure that 124% is 373, you can then calculate what 100% is. But it's about 300 if I remember correctly. I believe 100% is about 300. So even on a card like that, running it at 100%, because it's factory overclocked, because it's on a special board, it's going to run higher. So don't put too much into the percentages. Most of these cards will do more than the 130% of reference. Again, we have a card that does 150% already. If you are using a card that goes up to 130, like the XC, that is a reference board, so that is 130% of reference, but on our custom boards it will be different. So thank you for asking that, because I feel like a lot of people probably are not aware that that's how the power target works on the RTX card specifically.
Yeah, and just to answer that a little bit more directly, there's no real plans to up that power target even higher.
Yeah. I think 373 on the FTW3 at 124% is the highest.
Yeah, so really if you want to up your power limit significantly, based on Ray's explanation, is get one of the higher end like FTW3 models. Yep. You're really going to be at a high power target at that point. So that's good to know.
Will there be a case where the community will make a way to get unlocked ones that go even higher? Probably.
Most likely.
But we're not going to ship anything official.
Yeah, we don't recommend modding the BIOS or anything either to get a higher power target. Yeah,
warranty issues and
warranty
card
issues definitely, and card issues. Yes.
All right. This next question, this is a long one. I believe when I kind of went over these questions, this one was an RMA issue specifically in our European region, but we definitely want to dig into this a little bit. This is from Elv Wizzy. I believe that said. With RMAs for cards that are not in stock anymore, is it normal to receive a replacement with other, if not the same issues? He's basically asking, is it normal to get a card that has issues when you sent in a card that has different issues? No. But we'll move forward with the rest of the question. I've RMA'd several 1080 hybrids for coil wine. It keeps increasing over time. Every support ticket I just get told RMA based on what I've tried. Past 2 cards I received have had significant use, wear on them. Example, a lot of dust in the card, rattling fan, deep scratches, no sealed stickers, missing screws, rubbery residue on the radiator, stuff like that. It really feels like I got a replacement card, that I got replacement cards that got RMA'd for the same reason I RMA'd mine. Could you shine some light on this? And he says, by the way, he's in the EU region, so he's been working with our German office.
Okay. Yeah, so this is a little more interesting because it's about coil wine specifically. That is something probably that I would see this arise a little bit more in, and that's because oftentimes coil wine is not necessarily directly coming, not directly produced by the card itself. A lot of times that is a harmony, maybe that's struck between a couple different components. Maybe it's the power supply that is actually supplying the power. And so multiple cards of the same model or generation might actually still receive coil wine even though it's a different card. So in that case, yeah, I've seen that a little bit more. But actually, it's pretty rare in other RMA circumstances to receive another card that has the same issue. It definitely is something that does happen sometimes, and oftentimes it's a system issue related to your system and not necessarily related to the product itself. In the case of it having some, let's say, significant wear, deep scratches, things like that, we tend to help out if you're really having a card that's got some cosmetic issues going on that you receive from RMA, and let's say you sent in a card and it's in very good condition and you took good care of it. We do take that seriously, and we'll help you out in that in most cases if that's the case. But a lot of times with higher end graphics cards, people aren't tossing them around or treating them really badly. So it's also not very common in my experience to see that a lot of cards having a lot of cosmetic wear and issues like that. But if you do, certainly reach out to us. And like I said about the coil wine, I would try testing the card in another system entirely if you haven't already. That is definitely something that I would do with coil wine because it might be something else in your system that's causing that. Yeah. And I don't know if you have anything to add.
Well, I'll just add, when you do an RMA with us, if the card has a failure after the first 30 days, it is replaced with a refurbished or recertified, as we say, replacement, because we don't often refurb the cards. It's hard to take a card that's completely broken and restore it back to working, which is what refurbished actually means. You are working with the EU office. Honestly, if you're getting bad replacements, be very direct with the people that you're working with in the EU office and communicate to us here at the US office. We have an expectation of very good customer service that extends to the entire world. So if issues like this arise, we like to hear about it. I'm a customer service supervisor. I oversee the US, but also really the entire world. That's part of my responsibilities. So if you're seeing things like this, repeat issues, definitely bring it up because there's a standard of quality and support that we provide, and we need to be providing that support. You can have really minor issues in cosmetics. These are not new cards, as I said, but if it's really serious stuff, especially stuff that can affect performance like a rattling fan, that's something that we would definitely make sure to replace with a better quality unit. We are working with our European team that covers a huge region of the world to improve everything that they have, give them the best possible support from our side so that they can give you the best possible support. So you will see changes on that front as well. But certainly if you're still having issues, call the U.S. office and ask for Ray, and I'll make sure that that gets worked through for you.
Okay, hopefully you don't get inundated with calls now.
It happens.
Ask for Ray. Okay, this one is from Greenblatt Samuel. That's an interesting one. Is there a planned release date or estimate for the Z390 DARK?
We're definitely working on the Z390. We haven't said anything official about dates at this point. We want to get it out as soon as possible. And obviously the Z390 as a platform is hot right now, so we want to get those in your hands as soon as possible. I know that we've been working to try to get everything together, and we've been showing a little bit more of the features and some of the cool stuff, the changing of where the power connectors are and things like that. But as far as an actual estimated release date, I'm not sure. Do we have any estimate that we can give on that, or
no, we're not able to give any estimates. We actually don't have a hard date yet. Okay. As it is. The thing about the dark boards specifically is they are very heavily engineered, and we scrutinize them very, very thoroughly. Tin and Kingpin also get involved in the process of designing for those boards, because they want it up to their standards as well. They're going to be overclocking with them and breaking records with them. So there are changes that come down the pipeline, quite a few, and we implement them as best we can. And so, yeah, the date does fall back a little bit further on the dark, but trust me, it is going to be worth it. I would also keep your eyes out on CES. I'm not sure if the board might come before or after CES, but we probably will have something to show at CES for people to kind of get their hands on and take a look, at least some of the reviewers and stuff. So keep an eye out for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. This next one, I believe you're asking me.
Okay. HK asks, my question for 16, excuse me, taking advantage of Black Friday, can you upload a teardown video of SC15 and SC17 so we could place the HDD, SDD, RAM, or SSD, and RAM? Not so important, but would be helpful to others. Before I RMA'd my second SC15, Microsoft support told me.
Okay.
Interesting.
And I just realized that we changed the order and I screwed that up.
Okay,
but that's okay. I'll answer this one.
That's why I paused for a second.
Yeah, I know. I realized, whatever. I was noticing as we went through the questions today that we have kind of the order mixed up, because I feel like the ones that should have gone to Joseph are going to me and vice versa. But at any rate, I'll answer this one. No, honestly, we choose what videos we're going to make. That's what Joseph and I do. I don't really want to do a teardown on the SC17 or SC15. They're not products that we're really looking at focusing on going forward. That's part of the reason why you're seeing sales on them. We have existing stock of these products, and they're very good products. I use an SC17 every day to do editing. So editing for this and doing the questions and whatnot is done on SC17. That one's actually easier to tear down. The 15 is more difficult because the motherboard is in the other direction relative to this one. That's a really good thing to ask of your fellow users of those laptops on our forums. They can give you a good kind of photo breakdown guide of how to do that. But we mostly want to focus on content on forward-looking products. So we want to give you guys the latest stuff as it comes out of the pipeline from our engineering teams. We want to get that stuff on film. And unless we plan on going back into laptops, which is always a possibility, we'll definitely look at doing that for any future models. But at this point, the current models, we're probably not going to see much more of those, so there's not going to be too much content focused on those. Yeah,
they're not necessarily either meant to be opened up, especially the 15.
You can, but yeah.
Yeah, the 17, it was more common to see people sort of maybe upgrading the hard drive or things like that. We did kind of design it around the idea that it doesn't need to be upgraded, but eventually at some point, you might want to do that. The SC17 is definitely a lot easier to tear down. It's just some screws. The SC15, like you said, the motherboard's reversed, but also the pads are actually glued down. So you're going to have to be like actually pulling up, not much unlike like a Android phone, for instance, that's going to be glued down. It's a bit more of a process to get that off than simply being able to just pull it off. So the SC15 I don't recommend tearing down. If you are having issues and you need warranty, then contact us again. I'm sorry for the issues that you've already had. Really do apologize for that, but we're there to help, and if there's any way we can maybe expedite the process or something because you continually have issues, let the support rep know.
Exactly.
Maybe even speak to a supervisor like Ray, and they can help you out. But just be nice about it.
Sure, that always helps.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll continue with the wrong order here. This question is from EF. He asks for episode 16. We already answered part of this. Z390 DARK. When? If you had to distill the Z390 DARK down to a single feature / design choice, what in your opinion is the most standout? And I think we'll both answer this one.
Okay, sure. For me, the VRMs are kind of the most important component that are, since it's an overclocking board, it's a record-breaking board, the VRMs are entirely crucial to that.
Yeah.
And sort of the DIMM slot layout too, but
Sure.
I won't get into that. But the VRMs are very, very important. We used very high-quality components for it, and very efficient layout for those. And the cooling for those also is significant. Much like the X299 Dark 2, the VRMs, that's actually one of the things that made the X299 Dark, in my opinion, the best X299 chipset motherboard there is, because the VRMs were getting hammered on the other boards. Right. We actually put active and sufficient cooling onto those VRM components. That's what made that board stand out so much. This one's just going to top that because we, have already done one. We're,
right.
Actually we've done a couple dark boards, but so that's my, what I find to be the most important.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, Kingpin get his hands on that and really push that board as far as it can go, because it can go pretty far.
Yeah.
My favorite feature or choice, it's not really a single thing. It's kind of like what Joseph said. It's more so the all-encompassing focus of that model. I think that in this industry where we're basically all selling parts that serve the exact same purpose, we're not the only company that makes motherboards. We're not the only company that makes Z390 motherboards. There are other options that you have.
Yes.
But the Dark positions itself as a really nice focused product. It's not about RGB. It's not about, anything frilly. It is a purpose-built device. And honestly, for a motherboard, that's what I look for. I look for aesthetics in a motherboard like I do in a ball-peen hammer. I just want it to work and work really well. And that's exactly what the Dark is meant to do. It's supposed to be the best Z390 motherboard for those of us who are just looking for performance.
Yeah, I'm actually, now that you've said that, I'm considering getting into the ball-peen hammer market, and I'm going to make the most RGB
there you go.
That you can make. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, that's
it won't function very well, but that's kind of what RGB is all about. It's not function, it's form.
You even as a friend, you may not find a customer in me on that one.
I thought you liked ball-peen hammers. Is that okay?
I just like the purpose of it.
Okay, I got you. All right, this next one's from Brody Smith. Brody asks, two questions. One, when can we expect a video showing us how to install a water block onto the 2080 Ti FTW3 or similar for that matter? And two, can the heatsink/fan array from the 2080 Ti FTW3 fit on an XC Ultra?
Okay. The first question, actually a very good question. I think Joseph and I have actually talked about this already. We do want to do that video. We intend to bring that to you. It's just a matter of us getting the time to get both the card and the block together and then get time to film it. But yeah, we want to do a guide on that because it's a fiddly thing to install. We have very good installation instructions that come with the water block, but a lot of people are visual learners. I know I'd love to see a video of how to do something complicated like that because it makes it so much easier. Like if I see someone cooking something, I prefer to see them do it. So I definitely understand that. So that will be coming. Just don't have an exact ETA for you, but we'll put it on our planning sheet for one of these future weeks. As far as the second question, can the heatsink/fan array from the 2080 Ti FTW3 fit on the XC Ultra? In theory, I reread that whole question. In theory, I had to remember it. In theory, yeah, simply because it's held in by the same 4 retention screws that hold in the other one, but I really don't recommend it, and I would be surprised if the exact location of the VRM thermal pads is the same. The height of it may be different as well because we use different VRM components on the custom boards. So maybe, but try it and tell us. But obviously you're going to basically make it so that an FTW3 card that had a cooler no longer has a cooler and no warranty, and then an XC Ultra that had a cooler and had a warranty has no warranty. So you can disassemble them. As long as you reassemble them back to their original, then they both will have warranty again, but I don't think it'll fit that well, though technically you can mount it.
My answer to number 2 is no. I would just say no.
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't attempt it.
I guess I went a little far.
We could attempt it here. You know, that's because we
if
don't
enough
have to worry
people,
about that.
If enough people want to know, can it fit? We like the idea of some interesting experimental content to bring new people in. We can always try it, but I don't see any reason why you would.
Spam the comment section below. Number one, I did want to add something too. Yes, we are intending to do a waterblock install, and I think in the future we should be the first to come out with these types of videos because, you know, it's our product and we want to give a visual guide on how to do
like
that.
Day one. Kind of
so in the future, we'll work on getting that out right away. So I apologize for that. But yes, we are intending to do it. I just... the stock moves so quickly that every time we get stock in, I'm usually doing a lot of other things. I get to my desk, I see that the stock came in, it's gone.
Okay. So
And
it's even hard for us to get one.
Yeah, I actually, you know, they're going out to distributors and retailers and end users
people wanna buy
directly
'em.
from our online store, and they get eaten up so fast, especially if we're talking like the FTW3s, most popular selling models. And yeah, even the water blocks just been selling out like crazy. So I'm trying to get my hands on one, and I will get one soon enough.
We will. We promise.
Yes.
All right. This last question is from Ricochet Rabbit. That is a great name, by the way.
That's awesome.
For an RMA, is it normal to have an FTW card replaced with an SC card? I use the dual BIOS function on my FTW card. Thanks.
So no. That's a pretty simple question. If it is the same generation, the same model, we would never downgrade you.
Yeah, we don't downgrade on RMAs.
So an FTW3, an FTW card would not be replaced with an SC unless you're talking about an actual model upgrade. Right. So if the SC would be kind of more comparable, the closest comparable to performance that we have, let's just pick one out of the air, but like a 1080 FTW and a 1080 Ti SC. I don't know if that's an actual option that we would do, but yes, you might get an SC in that instance because we're upgrading you to the next gen.
Sure.
But we never downgrade you in performance. So if you're talking 1080 FTW down to a 1080 SC, not going to happen. Do that.
Yeah, it's actually, this is another one that was, sorry.
They're going to hear that one.
In post, that will have to be removed. Yeah, I am the person who actually kind of architected the way that we do replacements for graphics cards when we do not have stock. It's one of the projects that I worked on through the entirety of 2018 was to make a system to do that, and we do that every day now. So when stock is really limited, and stock has been pretty limited, especially on 10 series cards lately, it is possible to get a different model, but as Joseph said, you're not going to go from a 1080 FTW down to a 1080 SC. We don't downgrade. If we absolutely had to downgrade for some reason, we would call you, we would offer you, we would make sure that everything is right and correct before we went forward with something like that. So again, if you had, say, 1080 FTW, it is possible to get something like a 1080 Ti SC, which is absolutely an upgrade. That is a much higher performance card. Yes, it may not have the dual BIOS functionality, but look at the holistic performance picture and how we have to replace them based off of the stock available. If there are issues with that, if you really just do not like the product that was sent to you, give us a call and we'll work with you. We never, just shut the door and say, absolutely, we will not work with you. This is how it's going to be. We will try to do whatever we can to support you. So if for you, you like the dual BIOS function more than the higher performance, then give us a call and we'll try to work something out.
Yep.
All right. So that has been all the questions for this week. Thank you guys for the questions as always. Leave future questions in the comment section below, and we'll catch that in a future episode of Ask EVGA. You guys have a very good one.
Catch you later.